Hello, and welcome to my first review. I know that was cliche, but you gotta love that intro. Hello, this is my first video. This is going to be a review of Super Smash Bros. Yada yada yada, you've heard it all before, let's just get to it. So first we're going to be talking about the amiibo. Basically these are manufactured by Nintendo and are used in the game to play with. So you start by putting them on the gamepad and then they're added into the game. Once they're into the game you can begin training them. You can level them up to 50 and after that, that's pretty much it. They're more of a novelty thing. Next we have the vault. This is basically what's in the game, trophies, collectibles, and many other things. In the trophy section, you can look at your trophies, and as you can see there are hundreds of trophies that will take forever to collect. It's also nice to see all your trophies in a horde. Next we have Trophy Rush. You start by betting money, and then you go to town on a bunch of barrels. I'm not making this up, and it's a ton of fun also. It's such a simple concept that can be quite hard too. As you play further, the difficulty ramps up. If you're not careful, you'll be done for. I'm really glad that they brought this to the 3DS and the Wii U because this game is a lot of fun. Next in the vault we have replays. Okay, maybe we don't. They're nice to have, but I really didn't have a use for them. Next we have albums. Well, at least I have them this time, huh? Well, to be honest, I accidentally took these when I pressed pause, so I guess they still don't count. So yeah, moving on. Next we have movies. I was hoping that they would bring Subspace Emissary from Brawl. I have to say that these reveals are just beautiful. Unfortunately they didn't though. However, I love the movies in this section. Next we have the sounds. Just look at the soundtrack, it's enormous. If there's one thing that can be said about the Super Smash Bros. Series, it's that the soundtrack is expansive and just beautiful. And not just the quantity of the list, but the quality of the list. It's just amazing. Next we have the Records tab. Oh, this is gonna be a good one. We'll start with Fighter Records. It definitely is stats, it shows your KOs and many other little things that, come on, let's be honest, nobody cares about. It is still necessary though. Next, the Stats tab. Again, not super important, but there's your playtime. Woohoo! Now we have the Masterpieces tab. This is basically Nintendo's way of saying, go buy our game. Don't get me wrong, I love most of these games, but are they really worth having? These are just demos. If you do decide to buy one of these games, go with Earthbound. This game is amazing. Alright, let's finally play Classic Mode. Oh my god, are you serious? Cut me some slack, alright? I was short on money, I swear I'm better than 2.3 difficulty. I have to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of this classic mode. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. To be honest, I prefer the previous installments versions better. It was very straightforward and you faced who you faced. This is more of a minor gripe, but I still do love classic mode. Before you face the final boss in classic mode, you must face the terrifying Me Team. I'll just let you watch. Not much of a challenge, huh? I know it's meant to be this way, but geez, come on. If you think Master Hand is hard, just wait. You don't even want to see his full form. If you choose to play this on 9.0, just give up. You're not gonna beat him. The form I'm facing now is easy compared to his final form. But if you're still willing to try, all I can say is good luck, because it's just not gonna happen. Moving on to special orders, this is a new mode added. You have two choices to pick, Master Orders and Crazy Orders. In Master Orders, you have options of difficulty. The harder the challenge, the more the payoff. You can get special trophies, special custom moves, stuff like that. While in Crazy Orders, you have a choice to spend gold, or use a pass. You can get this by getting it in Classic mode, or there's other ways. These modes are basically for collecting collectibles. Event matches have yet again been brought to Smash Brothers. I've always enjoyed these, and they're definitely much harder than they usually are. Instead of unlocking them one by one like you usually do, you now play them out of order. While I respect trying to change it up, I honestly liked it the way it was. Nonetheless, the event mode is still a lot of fun. All-Star mode is another staple in the series, and I have to be quite honest, I'm a bit disappointed with it. Don't get me wrong, it's still a lot of fun, but instead of fighting one-on-one like the original All-Star mode, you fight a group of them within the time period that the character was released. This is a problem because the characters are much easier when they are in a group. The difficulty is completely toned down, making it much easier than it should be. I don't think All-Star mode is bad, but I do think the previous installments of Smash have a better version of All-Star mode. Let's move on to Stadium mode, and now Target Blast. There are 3 stages to choose from, and once you choose one, you must attack a bomb as you would the punching bag in Home Run Contest. After dealing enough damage, you knock it towards the targets. And after doing so, well, you pretty much wish for the best. This is fun, but I have to admit that I miss break the targets. But like I said, it would have been nice to have both. Next we have Multi-Man Smash. You have the usual choices, and it's the same choices as they usually are. Might as well try my luck with Cruel Smash. This can't be too hard, can it? Can I be real for a second? Let me ask you guys something. Who the hell can beat this? Next Home Run Contest. Well, let's just do it to it. Yay! It's the same minigame it usually is, but I have to admit it is getting a bit stale. Let's move on to everyone's favorite, Training Mode. Yep, that's definitely what it is, Training Mode. Well, let's see what we have with challenges. This can't be too hard, right? And we're moving on. In all seriousness, though, look at this challenge list! Who could complete this? Let's move on to online play. A lot of people put Brawl down for having really bad online connectivity. Well, I'm proud to assure you, besides a couple of opponents I faced before, the online play is much better. There are a couple of hiccups here and there, but besides these, it's pretty much perfect. Besides the fact that this guy cheated. You guys are all witnesses. You saw him. He cheated. Next we have Smash Tour. This is meant to be a party game. Mario Party meets Smash Brothers. It's not bad, and it does have some interesting things in it, but it's nothing too special either. Next we have Stage Builder. And just like Brawl, it's a stage builder. There's really not much to say. It's basically the same thing, with a couple of mechanics changed up to make it a little better. It is what it is. If you like the first one, you'll like this one. When it comes to this kind of stuff, I'm not the most artistic person out there, but I guess at least we have it, right? Next we have custom moves. This is both for your Miis and for the regular characters. This is a pretty cool feature because you can have different moves for each character, but unfortunately you can't use them online. I am still glad that they added this feature though. So there's one thing I must admit with this installment of Super Smash Bros. I have to say I'm a bit disappointed with the character list. By no means do I hate it, but compared to the other Super Smash Bros. Installments, it's just not as good. I'm going to talk a little bit about each character and explain myself a little bit. The first new character I want to talk about is Bowser Jr. I guess he's worth having in this game, but I just wasn't a huge fan of him. I never really play as him, and he's just an alright character for me. I do like that you can play not only as Bowser Jr., but the 7 Koopalings. Yeah, sure, they all play the same, but at least we have them. I like that we're able just to play as them. Bowser Jr.'s character for me is just alright. Do I think he deserves to be in the game? I guess. I'm not a huge fan of Bowser Jr. as a character. I'm not trying to put him down if you like him, but for me, he's nothing special. I also wanted to mention his smash attack. It's not a terrible final smash, but it's, again, just alright for me. If you are where the paint is on the screen, you will continue to get damaged. If you're still in the paint's range by the end of the final smash, there will be an attempt of knocking you off, but really it's not much. And that's why I feel this final smash is a bit weak. Next we have Dark Pit. Come on. Look, I get that Sakurai made Kid Icarus Uprising, but come on, this is a ridiculous choice. And not only that, but he's a clone. If you're gonna pick someone from your own series, then at least change the fighter up. And not only that, but just why? Dark Pit? Really? I really liked Kid Icarus Uprising. But I have to admit, even in that game, Dark Pit was a shallow character. I'm sorry, but he shouldn't be in this game. It's a waste of a character slot. Let's at least look at his final smash. Really? That's it? My point exactly. Next we have Dr. Mario. Was anyone seriously wanting Dr. Mario? Did anyone seriously want him back? He's a fucking clone character. He's Mario. He's just Mario. Why, Sakurai? Why? He should have just been a costume. This could be another character. Why waste the spot? It's just so lazy. Next we have Duck Hunt. This is basically just the dog and duck from Duck Hunt. I'm not huge on this character, but a lot of other people are, so I can accept this character and I'm happy with him being here. He definitely has some original attacks, and while I do find him annoying when you face him, I still think he's worth having on this list. Let's look at his final smash. I really have no complaints on this final smash. It's eye candy and it's cool to look at. It's nothing too special, but it gets the job done. Next we have Greninja. Believe it or not, they put Greninja on Smash before Pokemon X and Y was even released. The reason they did this is they were actually so sure that Greninja would be so popular that everyone would like him. And I'll give you a hint as to why I chose Froakie as my starting Pokemon in Pokemon X and Y. Well, obviously, because he evolves into Greninja, and Greninja looked the coolest out of the three. So you can definitely guess that I do like this character. Is he the best character to play as? Probably not, but I still like him. He's still a lot of fun to play with, and he can be quite a challenge to master. Let's look at his final smash. All I have to say about it is it's freaking awesome. Next we have Little Mac. I just got recently into Punch-Out and I'm a huge fan. I definitely really like Little Mac also. A lot of people felt that Little Mac was unbalanced when Super Smash Bros. First came out for the 3DS, and while he is a tough opponent, I wouldn't say that he is necessarily unbalanced. He definitely is a formidable foe, but he does have some weak points. If you ask me, Little Mac was one of the best announcements for Super Smash Bros. Let's see what his final smash is now. What the hell is this monstrosity? Well, it's still pretty awesome. Still doesn't make much sense, but this is definitely a strong final smash. Next we have Lucina. I have always really liked Marth. So why? Do I even have to say it? Why? Why do we have another fucking clone character? This is very simple, guys. Put her as a costume. I'll be honest, I've never played the Fire Emblem series, but I do like Lucina, so why not put her as a costume? I'm sorry, but this is absolutely unacceptable. Stop with the clones. We are now up to 3 other characters that we could have had. Just why? Sakurai defends these clone choices, but no, just stop it. At least just be honest with this. At least just be honest with the reason you didn't want to give other characters. Either that or admit you made a mistake. Because I'm sorry, there's just too much. That and there's more to come. Let's look at the final smash. Moving on. Aw yeah, Mega Man. If you weren't ecstatic after they revealed this character, then you shouldn't be playing video games. To be honest though, a lot of people kinda gave up on Mega Man. I think part of the reason of that is because he can be very difficult to learn with. By no means does this make him a bad character, but he's not a character for the faint of heart. Let's look at his final smash. Well, it's pretty awesome. There's really not much to say, but it definitely looks good. I am so glad that Mega Man is in this game. Next we have Pac-Man. I have to say, when I heard that Pac-Man was going to be in Smash, I was ecstatic. After playing with him for a while though, I really don't have much of an opinion on him. I don't think he's bad, but I don't really think he's that great either. He doesn't have very much variety when it comes to his movesets, but he's still somewhat fun to play as. I have to say that once he was announced, I knew what his final smash would be. I think probably most people knew what his final smash was going to be. It might seem predictable, but it's still a lot of fun to use. Next we have Palutena. I think she deserves to be in this roster, but again, I just really haven't played a lot with her. There's really not much that I can say about Palutena. She's a solid character, but just not one of my choices. I think a lot of people will like to play as her, but to be honest, I never really had an interest to play as her. Gee, they didn't rip this one off of Samus, did they? Nintendo decided that there wasn't enough Mario characters in Super Smash Bros. So how about another one? Well, they picked this one right. Rosalina's a pretty good character. I really have no complaints about her. She's got a pretty good moveset, and I like her as a character. However, she has one big flaw. Let's just watch, shall we? Are you fucking kidding me? Well, I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of Shulk when I heard his announcement. I never played any of Xenoblade Chronicles, so I had no idea who he was. I don't think he's a bad character, and he's different, but he's just not for me. I think a lot of other people will like him, but again, I just don't really have much of an opinion of him. His final smash is pretty cool. Next we have the creepy one. I'll be honest with you guys, when they first announced the villager, I had no idea how they would pull off this character. I just couldn't imagine what moves they would give him. Well, they pulled it off. Don't get me wrong, he's not a fantastic character, but he's pretty good. I wouldn't recommend this character for everyone, but some people will like this character. And look at his final smash. I don't really have much to say about it. It's funny. Next we have Wii Fit Trainer. I know, you were probably wondering why I wasn't like Wii Fit Trainer. Well hey, at least she's not a clone. Yeah, I know, nobody wanted the Wii Fit Trainer. But like I said, at least she's not a clone. I don't think she's the best character ever, obviously, but I don't think she's the worst they could have picked. Let's look at her final smash. Yeah, it's nothing special, but oh well. She's just an alright character. So finally in Smash Brothers, you can be whoever you want to be. Well, that's what Nintendo seems to think, because now you have the option of being a Mii. Oh boy. There are 3 options you can choose, but we're gonna start with the Sword Mii. This character can be incredibly slow, but has pretty good range. There's not much to really say about these ones. Let's look at the final Smash. Huh. Reminds me of something. The next version for the Mii is the Brawler. He's basically like Little Mac. This character is probably my favorite of the 3 because he's fast and powerful, but that's about it. His Smash again is similar. You're getting a little bit lazy, Sakurai. I mean, yeah, they're not completely the same, but come on, they're pretty damn close. Next we have the version of the Mii which is the Gunfighter. This one is basically Samus. Again, a bit generic, and again, not much to say. I do like that they brought Miis to the game, and I don't even hate the options you get. But like I said, they're far from perfect. The final Smash this time, well, it's pretty cool, I'll admit it. It's kinda short, but it's cool. Technically these aren't new characters, but this is one thing I really wanted to mention. Are they serious putting Sheik and Zero Suit Samus as their own character? Again, 2 more characters we could have had. Look, I get it. I didn't like turning into Zero Suit Samus in Brawl. Not because she was bad, but I like to be regular Samus. But making her her own character? Come on. And with Sheik, there's just no excuse. She didn't need to be by her own self. She was perfectly fine with Zelda. I'm not disappointed with this roster. What I am disappointed with is stupid decisions though. And really just lazy decisions. Look, I love this game, I really do. And this game is by no stretch lazy. I know Sakurai worked his ass off on this game. But I'm sorry, and I know many of you don't want to hear this. Don't get me wrong, the characters aren't bad. But this list is lazy. But the clone characters and the other little things I mentioned, they're lazy. This is really the only flaw I could find with this game, so it's not that bad. But in my opinion, next time I would like them to do a better job with the character list. I know many of you probably want a more in-depth review about the fighting, but believe me when I tell you, it's perfect. In my opinion, there are no balancing issues. You can get really good at this game by practicing, and not just with certain characters, with all characters. All I have to say is in this department, Sakurai outdid himself. There's nothing I really can say that hasn't been said about the fight. The mechanics have been perfected, and I don't know how they can top themselves after this game. I think I've said what I've needed to say for this review, and so now I'm gonna give this my final grade. That's right, a 10 out of 10. Now most of you are probably like, but didn't you say the character list was a big flaw? Well yeah, it's not perfect, but to be honest, I can just overlook it. This game's too good. And if you can't appreciate this game, then you can't appreciate the fighting genre. Yeah, there probably are some flaws with this game, but to me it's just special and I love it, and I think it deserves a 10 out of 10. All I can say is that you need to get this game if you haven't already. Not even to be competitive with it, but just to have fun with it. It's just so much fun. It's one of those games where you can just sit down and play and enjoy it. Basically what I'm saying is go get this game. I hope you enjoyed my first review. I'll be honest with you, I have never tried anything like this, so it'll probably suck. But in order to get better, I would appreciate if you gave me some criticism. Preferably the good kind. But I know you won't. But even if you're gonna call me names, like I said, give me some constructive criticism. I want to get better and I want to make better videos for you. So yeah, well, see ya.